in primary school, we had a lot of teachers from Uganda, and they used to tell us students, special students who can't catch up fast, maybe submitting homework or taking notes that they are writing on the board, like if you can't finish fast before they erase the board, they used to make this statement that, oh, we can't wait for Karamojas to develop. And they were describing this group as very primitive with no clothing, no formal education. And, people were way back in the civilization. And it was not until recent that I decided to learn about these people. And what I found is shocking. I kept asking myself, why are the Karamojas in Uganda really misunderstood pretty much across Uganda? Because sorry, because if you have the answer to that, you can tell me. Because I thought this statement was widely known across, and just for people who don't know, I've learned that the Karamojong people of Karamoja are actually true sons and daughters of the semi-arid plains of the northern eastern part of Uganda, and they are Nilotic agro-pastoralists who really have kept their ancient ways alive with incredible pride. It's very important because at the heart of everything there is cattle, and for the Kalamajongo cattle, it's not just animals. For them, cattle is a wealth, is a symbol of status, is respect, and even somehow a spiritual gift. For example, a man's value in this community is often measured by the size of his herd. So cattle give milk, blood, meat, hides, and sometimes they use them. We know this. They use them as the bride price, and so cattle connects families and clans. So you can tell that this is not just an obsession. This is actually a very deep and respectful relationship they have with the land and the animals, and somehow, they have sustained. It has sustained them even in the tough environment they live in. So this is a special group in Uganda, and to understand their ways of life, it's picture this lifestyle because the Kalamoja, they live in these traditional manyatas. These are like homesteads that are made of poles and the grass and the hides, and they practice. It's not nomads or past. They're like transhumants. I think that's the word they use. And so where they're like moving with cattle with their herds during these dry seasons because they're searching for pasture and water, then men and young boys, they take this big responsibility of herding, and at night, they sleep near the kraal, whatever it's called, this that to protect the cattle. And then the women, and of course young girls, they stay at home, where they are building, sometimes repairing homes or tending small gardens for food and crops, especially when rain come. And of course they also fetch water, they prepare the meals, and definitely they raise children. So these are gender roles that I think are very clear and very complementary, because you will see men, they are protectors and herders, then women, there's these strong backbones of the home, and so together they keep the community moving forward. And I think one thing that makes the Karmajongo culture really stand out is their warrior tradition, because we've heard that in the past there was a lot of young men who proved bravery through these different cattle raids, and I think it was part of showing their strength and providing for marriage. So they have a rich system of age sets where, like, boys are going to grow into warriors, and eventually they become respected elders, of course, who are going to be guiding the community. Uh, and so you will see, when you look at them, of course, you're going to notice about the traditional dressing, because everyone is like, whoa, who are these people? Men are always like in these colorful blankets. Women and girls, they have these beautiful beads, and you know all these clothing that tell stories of age, status, and of course beauty. Also, they have really beautiful dances that are full of energy, lots of jumping, lots of rhythm, and they celebrate life. They celebrate these victories. They celebrate the unity. And then people will say, "Oh, we can't wait for Kalamojas to develop," and it is still quite. I don't know. I don't know why. But I want us to talk about some misconception because I thought maybe, there's some truth to stuff people say. Because many people outside the Karamoja, they have called this group primitive, uh, or sometimes they say they're only focused on conflict. And this is not a full picture, but yes, there was a time where the cattle were rustling. There was a lot of insecurity, especially this time when there were like guns. They were very common, but the Karamojas, they are very resilient, and of course because the government started this disarmament, like these programs to disarm people with guns, the community, and of course community efforts, the crime started to go down, and the community became much more peaceful. And so today, they're even opening up to some cultural festivals, tourism, and a lot of positive change. Um, but still, they're holding really tight to their identity. Uh, I think they believe in Akuj as their supreme god, and they they guard customs because these customs have helped them survive for generations in actually a very difficult land. And so I think that pride is very beautiful. And we can learn a lot from this group of people because this Kalamoja, the Kalamajongo, they show us that strength, uh, tradition, and adaptability can live together. And their culture, it teaches people how to respect elders, teaches people how to be responsible, and there's deep love for their cattle and land. And so I guess it's very interesting things we can learn from them. But again, in this fast changing Uganda, you can tell by the way they still practice their religion, and their traditions and everything, even in the fast changing world, they still value where they came from. Uh, and so when I heard about this statement that, oh, we can't wait for Cambodians to develop today, sometimes I think, I'm like, oh, maybe civilization is not just about seeing electricity or seeing vehicles, or I don't know. It's more of being aware of yourself and understanding your roots and maintaining them to survive for generations. So I don't know if you've had experience of being taught by a Ugandan teacher who mentioned a sentence like that, "Oh, we can't wait for Kalamajongo to develop." But I have, and I know a few of my friends have as well. But if you have, or if you visited Uganda and visited this group of people, tell us what was your experience? What did you learn? Is there something you think is important we should dig deep into and make a video about? And again, thank you again for tuning in. Please subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you in the next one.